Okay. All right, I hope it works. I got my headphones on. I'm walking. It's going to be a little different. Sitting there thinking. I mean, there's so much going in my ears right now. I almost want to stop, but I'm not. If I can title this one, I want to call it Love in the Wilderness Won't Work. Love in the wilderness won't work. I want to use for a story something that we talked about before. The children of Israel being delivered in Egypt. I'm thinking about this. If you can look at it, that God had Moses to go get his bride and escort her from Egypt after fighting for her. He sent plagues. I mean, he really fought to let her see that he could protect her. But when they got in the wilderness, she still didn't trust him. Because you can see someone, man or woman, in a bad situation, and you can do your best to help get them out of that bad situation, man or woman. It could be a man down on his luck, and he done tried everything he could try, and he can't seem to make it. And you turn around and you see potential in this man, and you allow him to come to your home, drive your car, which is crazy. It don't make good sense to me. I wouldn't recommend it, but you help him get up on his feet. Because y'all still in the wilderness right now. We'll discuss the wilderness in a minute. You gotta be a woman. You see her down. You want to be a blessing to her. She can be single. She can have kids. You want to do some things. But if she's been single for a long time and she has her children, you have to know she's in protection mode. So I don't care how smooth you are, what you think. When it comes to her and her kids, she ain't about to trust you. And if her mind is still stuck on a Egyptian mentality or a wilderness situation, you can think she cooperating, but she ain't. She doing what she sees necessary. But if she don't trust you, if she still has that wilderness mentality, ain't gonna work. It ain't about love. Because in the wilderness, you stuck on survival mode. And it's hard to build a relationship when one of you or both of you are stuck on survival mode. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. That's why I say love in the wilderness won't work. You have to feel like you are somewhere comfortable. And I think about how he escorted the children of Israel from Egypt with Moses. And they went through different diverse situations, even when they got to a place where they could be semi-comfortable. And Moses went on a mountain to get comfortable. They pleaded to the man that they were more familiar with, Aaron, to build for them a god. We want something we can see. Give us a picture of our past so we can give our past credit. Now, how does that equate in real life? Okay, let's look at it like this. You see this person, they've been trying to run their game and trying to do their thing all this time. But when you help them get on their feet, they don't want to give you credit for it. They'll look you in your face and say, look, yeah, I was a little down on my luck, but it was my hustle. It was my ideas. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have this. If it wasn't me, you wouldn't have that. I'm the one got us where we at. You should honor and respect me for what I done. But wait a minute. Didn't I have to rescue you? And you repay me by telling me you done me a favor. Okay, that's right. That's right. You didn't have no place to live, but I'm thanking you. Your clothes was in the trash bag, but I'm thanking you. You ain't had no bills paid. You had a house with no lights, no food, no nothing, but I'm grateful. Come on, man. The attitude of gratitude has to be there. And that wilderness mentality will not allow them to have an attitude of gratitude, because half the time they're not looking for you to be there to build something. They're looking at you as the next slice of bread, the next piece of meat that goes on the bread. They don't really see you for you. And I had to learn, and I'm still learning, do they see who and what you really are? Which is why we got grace and mercy. Let me break that down for you. We got the law first. The law, the Mosaic law, is like a mirror. It shows you what you're doing wrong. It shows you what needs to be corrected. That's the law. Grace comes along and helps you to fix what's wrong. You see, so that's why we went from the law to grace. Now, it's not that you look past the law, because the law shows you what's wrong. The law of a particular character showed me what's wrong. There were so many flaws in my character because there were certain things that should and should not be done as it pertains to me. But that law couldn't fix me. So I have to go to Jesus, and by his grace, his unmerited favor, to shape and mold my mind, my heart, so that I can function different to become a better individual for him and his purpose. And I thrive to do that because it says, do not let your good be evilly spoken of. And I don't want to sit here and try to do the best I can by the grace of God, but I'm living in a way that people say something just ain't right about that boy. But back to love won't work in the wilderness. It's something that should have only taken a small amount of time, took 40 years. And some of us can spend so much time trying to allow love to manifest in the wilderness. Ooh. It came down to it that God even showed them. And then they questioned what God showed them about the promised land. And God tolerated it because they said, go on over there and investigate. Take a look at it and you'll see what I got for you. But they were so fearful. Only 2 adults, Joshua and Caleb, stood up for God and said, if he said we can have it, we're going to get it. I won't go into details of what terrified them. Actually, they ran up on giants. That's why when it says that they got these huge clusters of grapes, and that was real, it was literal. And it says we look like grasshoppers to them because they were giants. One day I'll make a video and let you see that some of those Philistines and Canaanites and Hivites and Jebusites, they weren't regular people. That's why the walls of Jericho was so tall. They were giants, but they came tumbling down. So here we are. We see the situation. We see them in the wilderness and everything is going, and God made the promise to them. The only ones that were able to go over there was Joshua and Caleb. And even Moses didn't get to go because he didn't correct his attitude. You know, everybody talk about him smoting the rock and all that, and that played a part in it. But at the end of the day, because he had an attitude and he stepped in God's shoes, if you read carefully, they were wanting some water. And he said, how much more must I do for you? He smote the rock and called them rebels. Let's break that down. First off, for him to say, how much more I got to do for you? Brother, you didn't bring them out the land of Egypt. Her husband did. Her husband, God the Father, is the husband of the children of Israel. So he asked you to escort her. That's his equivalent for me to get one of my friends to go get a woman that I want to be my wife, and he cuss her out and tell her, how much more I got to do for you? Whoa, 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 hold on, player. Hold on. I didn't tell you to go get her and cuss her out, because when Moses called them rebels, that was like cussing them out. Now, God has the right to say, yeah, that's my woman. And I know she hard-headed and she's still stuck on what she want to be stuck on, but she's mine. Talk about a good God. So that's why he didn't get to go. So my objective, while I'm in what I think is a wilderness situation, I'm not out here looking for nothing but the hand of God and the love of God. And I want him to escort me to a place where he wants me to be, where he knows that I'll be happy and where he's already prepared. I know I still got to still be busy. But I'm tired of looking through the wilderness for love. It ain't gonna work. I've had a number of failures to find out, in my experience, that love won't work in the wilderness. If we both ain't trying to go somewhere and trying to have something, it's not gonna work. I don't say love ain't in the wilderness, but without the grace of God, it ain't gonna happen. So that's my thoughts for today. God bless you. Take care.